Great. Thanks for having me, Jackie, and good to be back. And meet everyone. It's amazing. So I'm Claire from Udemy Ventures. We are a Silicon Valley-based venture capital firm with office in Canada and Germany. We invest in your seed to Series A software companies. Our investment thesis is very simple. We invest in great leaders. Our initial check size is up to 500K. We also do follow-ups. We usually co-invest, but can help bring in top-tier lead. About 2/3 of our company, we go ahead and raise a markup round from great VCs. Excited to be here and looking forward to hearing everyone's speeches.
Thanks, Claire. Elisa, welcome.
Thanks. Hi, folks. I am Elisa Miller-Out. I'm managing partner at Chloe Capital. We invest with a mission of inclusive ecosystem building at scale. We invest at the seed stage across primarily climate, workforce, and health. We are a generalist fund, and we do have check sizes of average 250K to 500K at the seed stage, plus reserves for follow-on. And we invest nationally across the US, and I'm based in Ithaca, New York. Thanks.
Thanks, Lisa. Gian.
I'm Gian. I run a fund called Surface Ventures. We write checks between 250K and $2 million, primarily in pre-seed and seed rounds, mostly leading and co-leading. I define pre-seed and seed rounds as kind of 3 pre all the way to 15 pre-money. And we invest primarily in B2B software across both infrastructure and vertical software.
All right. Thanks, Gian. John, welcome.
Yeah, hi all. So I'm John Chu, one of the partners at Coastal Ventures. We don't really have an average check size, so we'll do anything, although most of our fund returners are at the seed stage or the A stage. And Coastal is historically an early stage fund. And we're a generalist fund, so there's like different partners have different theses and whatnot, but there's not one major thesis that hits across the entire firm. There's 4 components in the firm. There's consumer, there's enterprise, there's biotech, healthcare, and there's clean tech.
All right, thanks, John. And Utkarsh.
Very similar to what John said, actually. So the fund I'm at Nexus. Fund invests across stages, but most of our investments are seed and Series A. And check sizes between 500K to 5 million, usually at those stages. And we're lead investor, and again, fairly generalist, but I would say most of the concentration is in B2B software companies. And we're lead investor, in case I didn't mention that.
Thanks, Utkarsh. Amazing. Thanks, investors, for being here. I also, before I bring up our first founder, really wanted to take a moment to thank our partners for the Accelerator, Fenwick and Silicon Valley Bank. We love working with you, and thanks so much for making this programming possible. All right, so I'm going to bring up our first founder, and that's Sanks from Recall. We're live streaming, right, Presh?
Yes, we are.
All right, awesome. Sanks, you ready to go?
Yes, hello.
Hello, hello.
All right. Here we go.
Okay, I'm going to count you in, Sanks. You have 3 minutes. 3, 2, go.
Hi, I'm Sanks, co-founder of Recall, your AI encyclopedia, and we just ranked as product of the day on Product Hunt, and we're growing over 100% month on month with little to no CAC. Meet Jason Patel. He's a tech entrepreneur, a founder, and a YouTuber. He listens to podcasts like Huberman Lab, watches Bloomberg Tech, and reads The Verge. But with his 60-hour work week, he struggles to stay on top of his interests until he found Recall. It's Monday, and he has a luxurious 25 minutes to spare between meetings. So he decides to catch up on the latest news. Using the Recall browser extension, articles are summarized in seconds, with keywords extracted and enriched to give him a quick yet informative overview of topics for the day. Next, he heads to Twitter, where he sees Huberman has launched yet another trending 2-hour-long podcast. With 15 minutes on the clock, he summarizes the video in less than a minute and listens to the audio replay of the summary while he catches up on his Slacks. Since he enjoyed the episode, he decides to save it into his Recall knowledge base, where it is automatically categorized and connected to all other saved cards using a graph database. Now, this unlocks connections he otherwise wouldn't have seen. This episode mentions resveratrol, which is also mentioned in an episode that he listened to several months ago by Dr. David Sinclair on longevity molecules. With 1 minute on the clock, he switches to the mobile version of the app, where he runs a little Recall quiz to re-jog his memory of the content while he walks to his next meeting. He enters with a great conversation starter. Jason is a real customer. He uses Recall every day. It helps him quickly condense important information and gives him peace of mind, knowing that he can come back to it again in the future. We're B2C SaaS with 2 subscription tiers, soon to launch an enterprise edition. We have over 800 paying customers with core profiles as academics and executives. We've just crossed 145K in revenue run rate, and 80% of our acquisition is through organic channels. While there is competition in the space, we differentiate with a focus on resurfacing content, and that's done through our graph database. Our go-to-market plan is focused on organic growth through SEO. We have a bot that scrapes trending content, summarizes it, and publishes it to our Recall library, which we then link to on strong domains like Reddit, which enable us to indirectly rank for thousands of keywords. We plan to reach 1 million in ARR in the next year, and that's through product iteration and sustained growth. From there, we actually have a pull into the B2B segment, as 58% of our current paying customers are using Recall at work. And so we have growing demand for features like multiplayer mode and shared workspaces. And from there, we realize our full vision as the ultimate content recommender. Think Spotify made for you playlist, but for all your online content. We're a resilient and balanced team of 3. I have over 7 years of experience of hypergrowth at Uber. Paul's been working with graph databases for years in the cybersecurity industry, and Igor is a 10x engineer. He can literally build anything. All of our development is in-house. That's Recall, your AI encyclopedia.
All right, thanks. Well done. Let's take 2 questions. Claire, let's start with you. Question for Sanks.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, very interesting product, and I can definitely see myself being a user. My
Thank you, Claire.
question is around the enterprise model, since we mentioned you're planning to expand into that. So when do you plan to do so, and how would you go to market with the enterprise model?
All right, thanks. And Elisa, how about you?
Yeah, I would love to hear a little bit more about the competitive mode, both for the individual version as well as the enterprise version as well. Thanks.
All right, great. You have 2 questions. You have 2 minutes for that. Syndicate members, if you have questions, please go ahead and drop them in the Q&A room. You can tag by the founder or the company, and the founders can actually answer them throughout. So Sanks, you have 2 minutes. Go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. I'll start with your question, Claire. On B2B, it was the when and the how. I'll talk a little bit more about the product. So the way we think about Recall is we have a single goal for our customer, and that's getting them smarter, faster. And when we think about that, we think about breadth of content, depth of content, and actual utility and retention of content. And that actually expands really nicely into B2B. When you think about breadth, you can think about bulk upload of content. When you think about depth, we have an individual knowledge graph that I've showed you, but imagine a company knowledge graph. And then even when you think about utility and retention, we're thinking about more employee-led quizzes. And so in terms of when, we plan to launch, soft launch an enterprise edition by the end of the year. In terms of how, we actually want to leverage our existing users who are actually using Recall for their work purposes. And we actually want to lean on them to iterate on our product and then to then grow from that perspective. So that's really our focus for B2B. For the second question, which was on the competitive landscape, both for B2C and B2B, I think for both, what I'll talk about is the knowledge graph. And while you might have heard about knowledge graphs when you think of Rome or Obsidian, those are actually manually created knowledge graphs, whereas with Recall, we're actually the only player at the moment that has an automatically created knowledge graph. So that's one moat. And then the second that I'll talk about is utility of content. Often when you think about knowledge management, it's this beautiful library that you've curated, that you've stored, but what about the utility? What about coming back and extracting consistent value? And I think that focus and that element of Recall is where our moat starts to become really interesting. But yeah, thank you.
All right, well done, Sanks. Next up, we have Russell from SAGA.
Okay, great. Share my screen.
And syndicate members, if you have questions, feel free to go drop them in the Q&A box anytime. All right, you ready to go, Russell? Yes, I see. 3, 2, go.
Hey, hi everyone. I'm Russell, the co-creator of SAGA, and we build AI tools for filmmakers. Meet Tig, who works in the film industry as a stunt coordinator, but dreams of becoming a Hollywood producer and needs to make their own films first to get discovered. Tig is new to screenwriting, but easily gets started typing Shadow Protocol as the title, with a log line about a retired army operative, and then clicking Generate to get ideas for a compelling theme about personal redemption. TIG enters basic details about the characters like the hero John Mercer, but needs help selecting from archetypes like the rebel to make John multidimensional and relatable. When it's time to plan out the story structure, TIG types in Act 1 and maybe how Act 3 ends, but gets stuck trying to connect them in Act 2, clicking Generate for the perfect ideas. Finally, TIG is ready to start screenwriting, and Saga has a full script editor with the styles and hotkeys screenwriters are used to. When TIG gets notes from their agent recommending a scene to be 30 seconds longer and more dramatic, Saga effectively helps them rewrite at the click of a button. And yes, if writer's block hits and TIG needs a first draft for the next line or scene, Saga is there to help. It knows all the plots, characters, and acts, helping come up with the perfect dialogue. But that's not all. Saga is also a full storyboarding application, letting TIG select from common shot types with simple teaching guides since they're new to cinematography. Saga knows what all the characters like Raven look like, so TIG doesn't need to learn prompt engineering and can easily describe what they're looking for. We've even started adding animation features next, letting TIG pre-visualize each scene. So in just a few days, TIG can make their idea a reality with a full screenplay and storyboards ready to shoot. This is something that can take years and tens of thousands of dollars hiring experts to help. We relaunched in the fall, growing 35% a month in revenue since then, with 45% of users converting to paid from our free trial. We're hearing great feedback from major producers of Breaking Bad and American Psycho, who tell us how amazing and impressive Saga is for story development, with nearly 80,000 YouTube subscribers and millions watching our demos. We charge $20 a month in the US and are looking at adding premium and enterprise plans later this year. Now, there's a wide landscape of generative AI tools, many of which generate text, images, or video, but we'll win because our app is tailor-made for filmmakers, delivering the highest quality story and video outputs using the best AI models available. We're going to market with a beachhead strategy, targeting consumers first, generating text and images, working on video generation next. We also plan to add more templates for television and advertising production with more languages for film markets around the world. We'll get to 100 million in ARR by capturing nearly 500,000 of the creatives in film, gaming, and the creator economy. And our team is perfect for this, with a Hollywood filmmaker and an AI product manager, and we're brothers. We've been making movies together for over 30 years. So I'm Russell, the co-creator of Saga. We build AI tools for filmmakers. Thank you.
All right, Russell, nice job. Thanks so much. Ian.
Do you see yourself kind of charging per person or filmmaker or whatever else kind of into perpetuity, or how do you think about extracting value for this type of product?
Great.
Yep.
And John, go ahead with your question, please. Oh, you're on mute, John. There you go.
Yeah, I was going to ask, just based on your demo and your description, it seems like most of what you're building is on top of other models or on top of open source. So if you play this out 3 or 4 years, what's your thought process around commoditization and holding your market position?
Yeah, great question. So first, Jan, we do charge per person, but we are definitely looking at adding a premium plan once we get video generation, and that's when we'll need an enterprise plan. So we've talked to studios like NBC Universal, the Russo brothers, Agbo Studio, Disney Pixar, and they are excited about an enterprise plan. So maybe 15,000 or 50,000, maybe give them 50 or 500 seats. And that's how we plan to move up from just individual consumers paying with their credit card all the way up to enterprise. And then, John, thanks for your question. Yeah, definitely, we bootstrapped, we used APIs. We were one of the first on GPT 3.5. We've integrated every model they have. We present our users options. So when you ask for a movie title or a screenshot, a close-up of one of your actors, we actually give options for multiple different options. So Stable Diffusion XL, SD3, Dolly 3. We're going to integrate video soon with Sora and hopefully Runway's Gen 3 Alpha, which just came out, and Dream Studio. And so we think it's actually beneficial to our users. They don't have to go patch together from all these different systems they're testing. They can get it all in one place for one low price. And they don't have to be prompt engineers. Our users are in Hollywood. They don't want to get on Discord to learn Midjourney / commands. But the final piece, probably what you're most interested in, is yes, we do have the skills. I've been working in AI as a product manager for 10 years. I built my own models. Andrew and I, my co-founder, were both computer engineers. So we have already started building models. For example, a script coverage model that no one else has to help build out our moat. But we probably won't build ones like video generation because that costs billions of dollars.
Okay. Nicely done. Thanks,
Yeah.
Russell.
Thank you.
All right, next up, we have Joe from the Rave.
Great. Thanks, Jackie.
All right, excellent. Count
All
you in.
set?
3, 2, go.
Great. I'm Joe. I'm co-founder of the Rave, and we are the referral and rewards operating system for all of commerce. We're a repeat founding team with over 10 years of experience in referral and e-commerce technology. My co-founder, Sam, founded and sold his last buy now, pay later company, PartPay, for $50 million in 2019, whereas I spent my early career as a growth lead at Uber Eats, where referral was a huge part of our virality. Many commerce brands are leaving so much money on the table by neglecting this powerful acquisition engine. So meet Ben at Magic Pop Mic. He sells wireless microphones on the internet. He's a 7-figure e-commerce brand, and he cares about accelerating his growth while keeping his costs and headcount low. And he's experiencing pain with diminishing returns on social media advertising. So what we do is help Ben unlock virality and incremental growth outside of social media by automating sharing incentives for every one of his customers. We give every single shopper influencer style incentives for referring their network right at the point of sale. So after a customer buys, they get either a cash or a free item offer for sharing their purchase. We get over 22% of existing shoppers sharing their purchases, driving traffic, and we get Ben 8 new customers for every 100 purchases, an organic viral engine that Ben didn't have before. We automate all reward disbursements into co-branded wallets that we automate for Ben. The dollars go into the wallets. Customers can spend those rewards back at the brand they bought from or at any brand within our ecosystem, and customers can earn additional gamified rewards by growing their shopping groups, getting Ben even more sharing and more purchases than he was having before. At our merchant's request, we also help Ben unveil who within his customer base has the highest reach and follower count. We then activate that reach with automated outreach and incentives, getting Ben even more sales with an automated affiliate engine that anyone can use. And lastly, we reward not only referral conversions and affiliate conversions, but submissions of testimonials and UGC from Ben's own customer base that he can then repurpose into advertisements to further grow through his customers. Since launching in November, we've reached over 100 brands, 20,000 plus ravers, and over 1 million in annualized GMV. How we plan to get really large is move beyond just a Shopify app, which we are today, to really providing our referral infrastructure and affiliate infrastructure to any product and service. We already have 500 million plus in GMV with signed LOIs waiting, and we are starting to build bespoke outside of e-commerce. We have a lot of demand in the ticketing space that we are just starting to build for that I'm really excited about. And secondly is becoming a user destination. So following the proven buy now, pay later playbook, we want our platform to become a primary destination to spend and earn rewards, but also want to discover new products based on what someone's friends and network are raving about. We make money with a monthly fee for our brands plus commission on all referred purchases we generate. And the space is crowded, so we compete at the intersection of referral, affiliate, and UGC, which individually has a lot of competition, but no one is holistically focusing on user-led growth, and that's where we kind of are the only player in the space. Next, we're acquiring customers across 3 main channels. 1 is organic referrals, 2 is newsletters. We have ads going with awesome CPAs, and 3 is cold calls and emails that are working really well for us. And last would be partnerships that we just started leaning into as well. And happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
All right, Joe, thanks so much. Okay, Utkarsh, how about you? Question for Joe.
Yeah, thank you so much. Great presentation. Maybe a question is, you talked about the market is really crowded. It's also not a space that's just opened up now, right? So why is now a great time? And what were the others missing when they were building out the previous generation of products for similar referral affiliates?
Okay, great, thanks. And let's take another question back around to Claire.
Yeah, my question is similar to Crash. In terms of like the market and this place is crowded, why has no one have done something similar? And is that they have done something but it fell? Would be interested to learn more about your insights on this.
All right, 2 minutes for that, Joe. Thank you.
Sure. Thanks, guys. So, I mean, Rakesh, to your question as to why is now the right time. So a few things have happened. One, mobile shopping is now 60% of purchases versus 30 before. So buying and sharing all in one is super normal, where you can finish your purchase and share it right away for a reward. That wasn't really a thing pre-2021. The other thing is giving customers actual cash and money for sharing. Before, the kind of old adage was referrals a free acquisition channel, give someone a promo to get $10 off their next purchase versus treating it similarly to Facebook as an acquisition channel you pay for. If you give customers actual cash, they will sing your praises and share more broadly. And that was never normal until just recently. We're one of the few people that actually do that for everyday customers. And TikTok Shop has totally normalized that behavior with everyone becoming an affiliate. And customers have more reach than ever. So even just 2 years ago, it wasn't normal that an average customer would also be a podcaster and have 10,000 followers that they could share a purchase with in just a click. So this aspect of getting someone to share right away just hasn't really existed until probably about a year and a half ago. And then I think also just payment technology as well, getting someone actual cash dispersed into their wallet automatically with very little lift wasn't really able to be done before just around 2 years ago. So I'd say those kind of holistically capture the kind of change in trends. And then just lastly, on Facebook ads before, you can pile all your money in there and grow at a 3 to 5x kind of return on ad spend. Now that that's coming up below 3, brands really, really need to focus on alternate acquisition channels. So I think that summarizes it.
All right, thanks, Joe. A reminder to the founders, please check the Q&A box as more questions are coming in there. Next up, we have JP from 1010.
Hey, let me share my
Hey.
screen. Great. Yep.
Okay. Full screen on
Let
that.
me just share my screen here. Okay.
Is that full screen? There we go. 3, 2, go.
Let me just, yep. All right. All right. Hey, everyone. Excited to be with you all today. I'm JP, founder of 1010, the AI-powered creative platform for developers. Michael's a Michael's a lead developer and tech creator who loves sharing technical content and inspiring his audience with generating revenue from sponsorships and software gigs. But his amazing code libraries all get lost in the wild with various, oh, sorry guys, I'm having a technical.
We can see the slides. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we can start from the top if you prefer.
All right, sure. Yeah.
3, 2, go.
I said it again. Hi, everyone. Excited to be with you all today. I'm JP, founder of 1010, the AI-powered creative platform for developers. Michael's a lead developer and tech creator who loves sharing technical content to inspire his audience while generating revenue from sponsorships and software gigs. But his amazing code libraries all end up lost in the wild with very low accessibility and no single solution to host, distribute, and monetize them. Enter 1010, a one-stop vertical shop for tech content that allows Michael to create, distribute, and monetize all of his best software-related work with a powerful creator toolset, dashboard analytics, and high monetization features. With 1010, Michael creates an account and a custom site to showcase all of his best software-related content. He can easily import his existing projects from GitHub, as well as to organize, create, and publish new technical content in highly accessible formats to a global audience of professionals who are eager to develop new skills and drink from the best sources in tech. Michael now can publish and showcase his best work in sleek landing pages and interfaces that are highly optimized for conversion, technical accessibility, and content interaction. His dashboard allows him to create subscriptions, manage payments, interact with his subscriber base, and even find sponsors while tracking content analytics and business performance. Last but not least, Mark can leverage all of his content to train his own AI assistant while helping his audience navigate through technical challenges while collecting feedback, fostering engagement, contributions, and further monetization opportunities. Our MVP has been tasked by creators and senior engineers coming from big tech and startups, adding over 30 content units per month, generating over $2,000 in GMV per creator in their first experiments, and posting over 70% 60-day retention. And we are now on track to hit over $100,000 in the ARR within the next few months. 1010 operates a SaaS-enabled marketplace that helps tech creators maximize their growth and impact by collecting sponsorships and subscriptions for premium access to their content. On average, we empower tech creators to make over $52,000 in GM of recurring GMV in the marketplace within 12 months, generating over $10,000 in ARR per creator through an average 20% take rate on marketplace transactions. And we estimate that 1.5 million potential creators can be served by 1010, giving us a total addressable market of $16 billion. And serving 10,000 creators with our current unit economics takes us to 100 million in ARR within 7 years. Our peers focus on different problems, offering centralized dev tools, infrastructure, and educational platforms for different types of content. 1010 differentiates by being a decentralized platform for technical creators with a vertical marketplace for tech-related content. And our roadmap is entirely focused on developing the best toolset and monetization system for technical content creators, starting with subscription-based content, sponsorships, and Gen AI resources, adding up features to maximize value for users and our platform's network effects. And this is our team to make it happen. We have over 15 years combined of product, engineering, and growth experience in mission-driven startups, having built and scaled companies from the ground up in tech, workforce skills, and social impact. I'm JP, and we're building 1010. Thank you, and happy to answer any questions.
All right, thanks so much, JP. All right, Elisa, how about you? Question for JP.
Sure, yeah. What kind of uptake are you actually seeing on the paid sort of subscriber model, or a lot of people just expecting to get this content more free? Or are you seeing a lot of folks actually upgrading to get, to pay additional as a subscriber or sponsor for the content? And also just curious about the integration with GitHub, and if you could talk a little bit more about that, whether it's already integrated or whether you're still building that out.
Actually, those are two questions right there. So go ahead with those, JP.
Oh, great. Thank you. Thank you, Elisa. And so for the subscription payments, and this is basically to help the audience access deeper level of content and also interact with the creator. So we have premium features that by paying, you have access to it. And of course, for the creators, that's the economic incentive for the work. And on GitHub, we have the integration built out right now, and it's basically one of the sources, let's say, for projects that are hosted on GitHub. Right now, a lot of great projects are lost in the wild, like we said, and it's very hard to access those projects and get situated on them and consume that content and be able to play with it. So right now we're building the layer fully integrated with GitHub in order to allow that access and interactivity that it's so important to create more access to these technical content and also the software projects that are being hosted there.
All right. Thanks, JP. And a reminder to the founders to keep checking the Q&A box. Founders, if you've already presented, there are some questions there that need some answering. All right, next up, we have Rahul from Flite.
All right, can you see my screen?
Yeah, sure can. There we go. Gonna count you in. 3, 2, go.
All right, hey everybody. We're Rahul and Severe, co-founders of Flite. We've built an events management ecosystem that enhances the host experience. We live and breathe events hosting. Over the last 4 years, Severe and I have done over 80 events in New York, collaborating with all kinds of industry players. Our expertise has helped us go really quickly to over 17,000 plus recurring users, over $600,000 in GMV, and $137,000 in revenue since our launch in September. We found that hosts spend about 70% of their time scrambling across apps, making bookings, managing payouts, and setting up communication channels for their team members, even before they could sell a single ticket. If we could reduce or even eliminate that, events would be selling out a lot faster and more often. Hence, we built Flite. Now, Flite solves all this by enabling hosts to streamline their operations on one platform. We help hosts make more money, save more hours, and reach more communities. Think back to the last concert you attended. You heard about it, bought a ticket, and had the time of your life. Your host, Gabe, however, was swamped, managing DJs, singers, venues, and legal teams to ensure a flawless experience for you. Let's take a look at how Flite helped him absolutely crush it. Flite's data tools are unrivaled. At a quick glance, Gabe can peek at the stats most important to him or take a deep dive into the details. He can onboard all of his stakeholders with contracts, analytics, and document storage all on platform. He can quickly retarget his customers with costless email and text marketing, and even retarget customers that may have abandoned their carts, leading to better conversion and thousands of dollars in recovered revenue. He can customize his outreach to exactly what he needs, filtering his audience with Flite's Audience Builder. Now, Gabe wants to rehire promoters and stakeholders with one fast and easy click, and he can do that in his My Team section. Finally, he can onboard absolutely anyone, equipping them with tracking links and automatic profit splits, having them sales ready in just seconds. Now, Gabe thinks the Jamaican community would love his upcoming event, but he struggles to reach them. He quickly navigates over to the promoter marketplace and finds Ugam, a veteran promoter with an audience of thousands around New York City. Gabe gives the profile a quick look over and sends Ugam a request offering him a 20% commission rate to sell tickets. Ugam accepts, immediately begins driving traffic to the listing, netting Gabe an additional $900 in sales. Now imagine if Gabe could find 5 Ugams. He can easily make an extra $4,500 by hiring them on Flite. We as humans have access to such a small number of communities. Flite's marketplace connects hosts to several new communities they didn't even know existed, and the proof is in the numbers. Our sales demos have been converting at an 82% rate, and of those, 90% of people come back to list their next event. Our take rate is only 15% on the end transaction, and we charge hosts absolutely nothing. We're the only company in the industry that's both infinitely customizable and also completely host-centric, and we're not only going after market leaders like Ticketmaster, but creating a whole new ecosystem that changes the way hosts build the foundations to their events. Now, last year, Ticketmaster alone made $16.7 billion in fee revenue. With just under 1 billion tickets sold every single year, there exists a massive opportunity to capture market share. We spend this year setting our foundations, next year on nationwide host and promoter-based expansion, and carve a path to global presence and 9-figure revenue by 2028. Once again, we're Rahul Surana, and this is our team, and we're introducing a whole new ecosystem for events. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Rahul. Gian, you're up next, please. Question for Rahul.
Is there a type of event that you are particularly focused on today, or that you're seeing a lot of uptick on today? And is there, and I guess the converse as well, are there types of events that this is not as suitable for?
All right, and how about you, John? Oh, Claire, will you raise your hand? Go ahead and why don't you answer the question? We'll get you on the next one, John.
Thank you. Yeah. So my question is, how would you recruit promoters and build a community? And specifically, do the promoter need to opt in and connect their social media in order for you to pull their stats?
All right, those are great questions. You have 2 minutes for that, Rahul.
Awesome. Thank you guys for the questions. Jan, you first. In terms of what types of event that we're focused on, so Severe and I have a background in nightlife. We've been hosting events in New York City for the last 4 years. So we have connections and a network to tap into there. So we've begun our journey with nightlife, really focused on clubs, venues, DJ events, but we've seen a lot of incoming traffic and inbound requests for events outside of that space. Industries might include things like comedy clubs. We've seen dance competitions be taken on Flite, festivals, and also big concerts. The type of product that this is not really suitable for is more so maybe networking events, something more professional. That's something that's typically more on the side of like C-Event, or I'm sure you're familiar with Luma. Those are better companies for those kind of events. But we offer hosts a very, very white labeled platform to essentially build out the vibe that they're looking for to deliver for their events. And the biggest uptick that we're seeing right now is especially in the festivals and concert space, especially once COVID really subsided. This space has actually absolutely exploded, and it's growing at an almost 12% CAGR, which has been super impressive to see. And Claire, for your question, in terms of recruiting promoters and building a community, it's a chicken and the egg problem, right? You have both events and promoters. Who do you attract first? For us, it was very much a no-brainer. It was attracting the events. So having hosts on the platform, putting events through, is very, very, very easy for us. And then from there, we're able to actually go on campaigns and attract these promoters. So there's 2 ways in which we attract promoters. First of all, is through campus-based recruitment, for example. We are able to convert students by showing them they can make a couple extra dollars on a night out just by inviting their friends to their parties. And that's been really successful. And then secondly, there are existing promotional teams that all these hosts come with, that they are already working with. And currently they pay them out with Zelle, bank transfers, Venmos, or they will be communicating across different channels. We allow hosts to actually bring that team directly onto the platform, and that also populates our marketplace.
All right, well done. It's going to be tough. Great job. All right, next up, we have Matthias from Permar.
So, can you hear me?
Sure can.
So, give me just 1 second.
And founders, again, check the Flite and Sanks, you have questions for you in there. All right, let's go full screen on that. You have 3 minutes, Matthias, 3 to go.
Perfect. Hello, we are Permar AI, and we help e-commerce brands lower their customer acquisition costs on autopilot. High competition results in rising marketing costs and decreasing reach, so you have to turn more visitors into customers to remain profitable. Meet Nina, for example. She's an e-commerce founder selling sustainable boho dresses, but she is, as most e-commerce founders, marketing and design oriented, but has no expertise in conversion rate optimization or optimizing her website, is also based on gut feeling and not in a data-driven approach, and she hates the back and forth with the freelancers she's working with. Those are two major issues that so many e-commerce founders out there are facing. So what if Nina's website could optimize itself around the clock? That would be pretty cool, right? So Nina goes to Permar AI to create her first experiment. She just enters her domain name and clicks on submit. She can then click on a section where she wants to perform a test on. In this case, she chooses the headline. She can then ask Permar AI to propose data-driven headline suggestions based on past performance and can choose the variants she wants to test. But she can also test images, color codes, or CTA buttons. In this case, we see an example where she also tests images. The best thing is that we automatically start showing higher performing variants more often, so that already when we start testing, she increases her conversion rate. But Permar AI goes beyond just growth experiments. We help Nina also with the creation for whole landing pages. She can develop landing pages for SEO optimized blog articles to increase her organic reach, but she can also create landing pages for paid traffic in a matter of seconds. The coolest thing here is that the landing pages optimize themselves based on the past performance data we receive as well. We can see here an example where we created a landing page for Chow the Label, her brand, with in a couple of seconds. She can push the landing page live and can start receiving organic traffic, in this case for the landing page. And we offer very affordable pricing to that problem, with prices ranging between $50 and $1,400 depending on her monthly visitor numbers. With a 10% market penetration, we could capture $250 million in US revenue. The thing that Nina likes most about Permar AI is that it really produces the content completely automatically and in a data-driven way without the back and forth she currently is facing with the freelancers she's working with. We are already at more than $7,000 in revenue for June, and this week we launch our POC with our first agency. This is a web agency behind companies such as Disney and Campbell's. So we are very excited on the launch of this relationship. We reached the first million with a focus on agencies and trade fairs. With the 10 millions, we're going to reach by expanding our focus on a broad target audience, and the 100 million we're going to reach through product expansion. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Permar AI with 5 years of experience in e-commerce, both as a manager and as a founder. My co-founder Matthias has 5 years of AI experience as a former head of AI and McKinsey consultant. We're Permar AI, and we help e-commerce brands lower their customer acquisition costs on autopilot. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, Matthias. John, question for Matthias.
Yeah, so in that segment you're targeting, which is mostly small businesses, they don't get that much web traffic, but generally for a product like this, you need a number of data points before you can actually start optimizing per user, right? So do you ever find issues with not being able to show value to your user before you get enough data points to actually start optimizing the A/B testing to actually lift conversion?
All right, let's take another one before you answer that. And then let's take another one from the syndicate. Because very interesting, does it work with any content platform? Okay, now you can go. 2 minutes.
So taking the second question first. So we are platform agnostic. It's a very cool thing. We just have a snippet code, which you like the Facebook pixel, which you put into the backend of your website, and then we're ready to go, basically. And concerning traffic, very good question, John. So what we are working with, especially for the SEO optimization, is on so-called secondary KPIs, like for example, scroll depth ratio or bounce rate, for example. With those kind of secondary KPIs, where you're not so much heavily focused on the conversion rate itself, you can also already see, for example, for headlines or also text above the fold, create actually kind of optimizations, for example, for SEO blogs. When we talk about conversion rate in a purchase event, then definitely you need more events for that as well. But currently we're focusing more on this, as you mentioned, on 7 to 8 figure brands. You need, I would say, 20K monthly visits per variant. So we are also with 7 figure brands, we are able to do that. But yeah, of course, more data is definitely relevant to do more tests as well. That's for sure. That's the case.
All right, thanks, Matthias. Next up, we have Narges from MARVL. All right, can we hear you, Narges?
Yes. Hi,
Okay, great.
everyone.
Great.
Hi.
I'm going to count you in. 3, 2, go.
Hi, everyone. I'm Narges, CEO and co-founder of MARVL. MARVL is a GTM intelligence platform. We generate call preparation and customer presentations in seconds. We are a team of experienced founders. I'm an AI scientist, over 10 years of experience building AI solutions. Jordan was a tech lead at Google, over 20 years building and designing SaaS applications. And Rory is a sales leader leading over 10 high-growth startups in San Francisco. Meet Kyle. Kyle is a sales leader at GroupBuy, a product discovery and analytics platform. His team goes over an average 20 sales calls a week. They spend hundreds of hours each week preparing for those calls and also creating tailored presentations for customers. Up until MARVL. With MARVL, every time there's a new lead assigned to someone or a customer call coming up, sellers receive a notification in a Slack. Branded and tailored documents are generated in a few seconds, tailored for each deal. Now sellers, they can use these documents to get prepared for their customer calls with tailored use cases and stories, or share the presentations with customers. MARVL captures structured and unstructured sales data from existing systems like CRMs and validate customer case studies, product data, and combine it with over 40 different proprietary AI algorithms. Sellers can interact with MARVL inside the tools that they're already using in their day-to-day activities like Slack, Teams, and Chrome extensions. We save teams 6 hours on each deal, and the compound effect of call preparation and immediate value for customers translate to a minimum of 10% sales efficiency per quarter. Revenue teams so far loving MARVL. MARVL acts as a Sherpa with timely sales information so that everybody follows the same recipe of success. We just launched our MVP, and already in the past to onboard companies like Demandbase, Amplitude, and Braze. We have a clear path to $1 million ARR in the next 12 months. Our customers are SaaS that have verticalized solutions, mid-market enterprise. Our current pricing is based on total number of employees with the cap number of queries per company, starting from $25,000 a year with $10K implementation fee. We are not competing with CRMs, we complement them. CRMs have been designed as system of records over 30 years ago. We come into the picture, consolidate the structured and unstructured sales data, which CRM is one source of that truth. We create a standardized and a scalable system that increases sales efficiency by at least 10% and make buyers receive value from the very first interactions with the sales teams. We are MARVL, a GTM intelligence platform redefining buyer-sellers interactions. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Narges. Utkarsh, question for Narges.
Thank you so much. Great presentation. Obviously, there's a lot of different new kind of tooling, LLM-based tooling coming up for better preparation of sales folks, business development, going out and demoing the products for the buyers. So in this entire noise, how do you think you're differentiating, and over time, how do some of these advantages accrue to the product?
Okay, thanks so much, Utkarsh. Let's grab one more. How about you, Claire?
Sure. So my question is, how do you plan to improve the algorithm of the content creation that help ultimately the sales performance of the customers?
All right, 2 minutes for that, Narges. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. So yes, there are a lot of new solutions coming out in the B2B sales landscape. I think a lot of this goes back to looking at proprietary sales data and tribal knowledge in the companies, and also consolidating the current B2B SaaS solutions for sales. So what we see, sellers are completely overwhelmed with many tools, and they don't want to add one more to their toolbox. And for that specific reason, we want to bring MARVL as a teammate to their Slack or Teams or a Chrome extension, to not add one more tools to their toolbox and make this interactions easier. So we consolidate these tools. That's our plan, to not add more overload to their day-to-day activities. And for how to make the AI sales models better, so far we created 40 different algorithms that are tailor-made for our customers. And what we learned is we can kind of like cherry pick different of these use cases and algorithms and go over similar companies and kind of propose this solution to them. So that, and also at the same time, we have a human in the loop. So we have over 40 different, when we generate this content, there's like 40 different test contents that we go over them with companies and make sure the output is tailor-made for them and adds value to their life, to their work days. Pretty much that's it. Yeah, would be happy to follow up. Thank you.
Thank you, Narges. All right, and for our final founder, we have Ivan from Waffly. You with us, Ivan?
Yep, right here.
Yeah, sounds great.
Just sharing my screen. Second. Yep. My presentation. Here we go.
All right, 3, 2, go.
Oh, wait. Let's skip 2 slides. Yeah. Hey, everybody. Ivan is here. So at Waffly, we are building the future of search, a vertical alternative to Perplexity AI, the one where users can create their own domain-specific data sets, ask a question against them, and get answers always linked directly to the source. I will start with a sort of a small personal story. I'm a father of 3 kids, and as you know, kids always ask a lot of questions, and soon enough, they will go directly to Google asking those questions. And, I'm a bit worried of the state of art today, because Google is, trying to release new AI features, but they're publicly available and everybody can find answers linking from random data from Reddit, for example. And I just did a presentation at BetterWorks, and I got one of my kids' question and just directly asked Perplexity, are aliens real? And what I got has an answer based on an article from Politico and a conspiracy video from YouTube, like 60K views conspiracy video. So, at the days when everybody trying to scrape data from the web, and specifically Google and major tech are not a reliable source, we're presenting a different approach, the one where users can create their own data sets, and you can think of Waffly as a single data layer where any user or company can store their own sets, and pretty much it's a very user-friendly way to extract data from any complex files, whether it's audio, video, or PDF files. So, and we build a feature where LLMs go directly to such data layer and ask question against the layer, but not the Google or any publicly available data they're not own. So pretty much, you can imagine that you can ask questions directly to Elon Musk, to Stephen Fry, Stephen Hawking, or Brian Johnson. And in terms of product, it's a content management product. So every file you upload to the platform, you see as a set of embeddings. And for every file, you can provide specific data mapping, data enrichment. And then you ask a question, or any of your users you share this data set to, you see all the questions in your set. So you can pretty much ask any product questions to the domain, like to Roman Yampolsky about AI safety, or to Brian Johnson about extended WRF. Is it actually worth it? So we're a team with experience in the industry. I spent my last 8 years building different products as a managing partner at the venture studio. My co-founder was a regional engineer from Meta PyTorch team. And our core plan to release a single API layers that can be accessible in the middle of the summer to every developer and every company. And we're envisioning Waffly that the free tier can be accessible to everybody on the web, but the golden middle standard going to be a freemium with prosumers and enterprise users who need more larger sets with more files and better indexing. So we're pre-revenue, pre-launch, but we're 600 plus prosumer users and 10 major enterprise pilots. That's it. That's Waffly, future of search on the web. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Ivan. Elisa, you're up next. Question for Ivan?
Sure. Are you looking to basically aggregate different data sets that you can like custom aggregate those and custom curate your own? Or are folks who use this platform going to be creating their own data sources from scratch? I wasn't completely clear on whether it was more curating, aggregating, or creating new data sets. And then second is, could you talk a little bit more about the business model? I know you were touching on it at the end, but was wondering if this was going to be ad funded the way search typically is down the road, or if it's all going to be subscription model.
Hey, that's two questions right there. Go ahead, Ivan.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you so much, Lisa. Perfect questions. So for the first one, it's pretty much both. So we give users extract tools so they can create their own data sets based on publicly available data, like from Reddit or Twitter, but we link directly to the source. So we always see, okay, this answer has been answered by someone on Reddit, and users don't own this data. But the second approach, they can create their own sets. If you're like a YouTuber, you create YouTube videos, you can just provide a link to your own YouTube channel, and for those data sets, you can actually earn money directly by paid API or providing paid access by like invite emails invite. Sorry. So it's pretty much the idea that users who actually own the data, whether it's prosumers or companies, they can decide for themselves what kind of access they want. And if it's a paid access, that's a direct way to monetize those data sets. And obviously, if you own the data set, you can also provide a different rankings. So, for example, you own a data set around some car manufacturing or some cars in general, and you can provide some paid slots for some partners to just get like advertised answers in your data sets. And our approach, that future research, is the collaborative one, and that's directly linked to the business model. We see this as a framework, as a Miro, and we have investors from Miro as well, where you have different data sets. Some could be free, some could be paid, some could be public or private. So that's it.
All right, well done, Ivan. All right, thank you, founders. Investors, that's our cohort. That's LA31. And now comes the hard part for you. Our panelists, guest judges, I'm going to ask you to give us your top 3 of those 8. And when I call on you, could you please let us know them in backwards order? So we'll create a little suspense. My number 3 is this company. My number 2 is that company. You don't have to say why. And then when you get to your number 1, please let us know why you voted that company number 1. So I'll give you a moment to think about that. And our syndicate members would love for you to vote as well. We can't do a top 3, but we can do a top 1. So I'd love to launch a poll. So let's go ahead and launch that poll. And our guest investor judges, don't let that poll influence you, please. We'll call on you in a second for your answers, but we'll let syndicate members to give us your top. Hey, Jason.
Hey, and thanks for coming, everybody. Happy start of summer. Hope everybody's got great plans, and congratulations to our latest accelerator class graduates. Just amazing companies, all with great real products and customers. We have 2 programs here, just while you're thinking about your votes. We have the Accelerator. We've now done, well over 30 cohorts, and we keep doing cohorts of 7. This time there was 8. And that's where we spend a lot of time with the product market fit and scaling revenue and kind of making these companies really ready for their seed round, their Series A. Most of the companies, though, coming to us are in the ideation phase, building a team, prototype. And so we have Founder University, which has become quite a feeder here into the Accelerator. So many of the companies that come to our Accelerator now come to that 12-week program. In that 12-week program, we offer the founders, if they wanted, a $25K friends and family check, we call it. And we've done about 80 of those investments. So if you have great companies or people who are thinking of starting companies, the 12-week Founder University, you can come to that course, build out your product, and we wind up investing in about 10% of those companies. You don't get money on the way in. You kind of just come to the program. We work with you, and if we think there's a match, we'll invest. And then some of those companies go on to go to the Accelerator. So we've had a couple of those happen. Of course, we still have our syndicate. So some of the companies that get to good revenue growth and are making 10, 20, 30, 40K a month, kind of figuring things out, we will syndicate them as well. And so we look for high quality deal flow for the syndicate. Many of the syndicate members aren't as interested in the earliest stages before they have that first or second paid customer. They kind of like that sweet spot. And so we meet with 100 companies a week as a firm on average, and do introductory calls. If you have any great companies, launch.co/apply to apply to our team. It's one application for Founder University, the Accelerator, direct investing, syndicate, everything. We just send everybody there. We've got a 21 person team now doing the podcasts and doing all this investing. We're investing in about 100 new companies a year, maybe 25 follow-on investments a year. And that's our strategy as a seed stage firm. We also have a Whisper network that Jackie is now in charge of. We've made a list of, over the years, over the decade, of investors we think are awesome to work with for founders, and we send them little notes once in a while, every couple of weeks, of a company we think that might match their criteria that they should know about, even if they're not raising money. That's why we call it the Whisper Network. Hey, maybe check out this company. They've got some interesting things going on. And we just send background. So those are all the programs we're doing here. And Jackie, did I filibuster enough? I gave people enough time?
You did. Yeah, you sure did. Thanks, Jason. You're the best filibusterer in the world.
Yes, I'm
All
told.
right, let's get some votes. So the syndicate member will let that run. Claire, in the meantime, let's call on you first. Can you give us your top three? Just 3, 2, no need to say why, but 1 and why.
Of course. So the third place that I have is SAGA. Number 2, Rave. Number 1, Recall. I really like the founder in the presentation. I think she's a great strategic thinker and communicator. I like the business. I think it can rise in a new product category with a lot of potential. I've seen something work in book summary, and I really look forward to seeing the traction from enterprise space.
All right, thanks so much, Claire. Elisa. Top 3 in backwards order.
Yes, my third was SAGA, the film platform. My second was Flite Crew, the events platform, and my first was Recall. And I appreciate this platform because I just think the fire hose of content and the need for this kind of organization and curation, both individually, but I think especially at the enterprise level, I could see this being super interesting. So yeah, excited to see where it goes.
Thanks, Lisa. Gian.
My third was SAGA. My second was Permar, or Parmar, and my first was Recall. I just thought it was pretty cool to kind of automatically create a knowledge graph out of the content you're consuming. That felt pretty differentiated.
Thanks, Gian. John.
Yeah, so my third is Permar, and I'll just comment. The reason I can't put them any higher is I led the seed round in a direct competitor that was on one of their slides. So that would be a conflict to put them too high. The second one I think is SAGA, and the first was Recall. I'm not really in the consumer target demographic, but with a little bit of pivoting, there's multiple markets that I've seen actually doing automatic knowledge graph construction in the enterprise that are very valuable. So I think the team is solid and the tech is solid, and there's definitely paths to make that a large company.
Thanks, John. And Utkarsh.
For me, the order was Rave at third, Permar AI at second, and no surprises, Recall at first. And very similar, I think there's a lot of value to be uncovered with some of those knowledge graphs, especially I think as they hinted towards knowledge sharing between team and coworkers, especially at the enterprise level. So very curious to see what the team builds out from here on.
All right. So we'll do a few things now. We're going to take the poll of just these 5 judges today. And how did that come out, Andre?
So thanks everyone. Thanks everyone for voting. So overall, we do have a tie right now. For today, just these 5 judges. So in third with 1.5 points is the Rave. A 2-way tie at 2.5 points each is SAGA and Permar AI. And first with 10 points is Recall.
All right. And our syndicate poll is Recall first place, SAGA second place, Flite third place, it looks like. And now we've done this week to week. Overall, in the cohort, who are our 3, 2, and 1 in backwards order? Andre.
Okay, in backwards order. In third is 1010. In second is the Rave, and first is Recall.
All right, well done, founders. Been so wonderful working with all of you. Syndicate members, thanks for joining us today. And of course, to our guest investor judges and our partners, really appreciated your time today. It was just a fun hour for me.
Try to
Anyway.
keep it, we try to keep it super efficient. 1 hour, you get to see 8 companies, or maybe an hour and 10. And hopefully, you know, the way you can show love for these founders, PIME, like go ahead and, you know, book a follow-up meeting with 2 or 3 of them and check in on them, try their products, and give them some support. It's hard to do this. We all know that. So really appreciate you giving them some TIME today. And hopefully you follow up with your favorites. And hey, you never know. Maybe there's a great investment in here for you. Okay. Talk to you soon, everybody. Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you. Bye.
LA31, I'll see you in Slack. Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming.